Okay, so we live in this world just overflowing with information, right? Every single day, there's this tidal wave of articles, reports, data. How do we even begin to cut through all that noise? How do you, our listener, find those, truly valuable insights without getting completely buried? Especially with stuff like AI, where things are moving incredibly fast. That hunt for practical knowledge, it's relentless. So today we're doing a deep dive into something that might just be a shortcut to being better informed, the ParaHelp prompting framework. Now, it was originally built for these super robust AI customer agents, but its core ideas, the way it structures thinking, it turns out it's this really powerful model for lots of other things, and we're going to focus today on how it impacts product marketing. Our mission is pretty clear. We've got some fascinating excerpts from a report on this framework. First, we'll dig into the technical cleverness behind it. Then we'll switch gears and see how the structured approach can genuinely revolutionize product marketing tasks and ultimately drive some serious growth. It's not just about making AI work harder, is it? It's about intelligence, building intelligence into how we ask questions.
That's exactly it. It's a real shift. At its heart, ParaHelp's approach, it isn't about finding one perfect prompt and you're done. No. They stress this rigorous iterative process. Prompt optimization isn't a one-off task. It's ongoing, like tending a garden, constantly refining.
Huh. So less like writing the perfect code once and more like being a detective, always looking for where the AI stumbles to make it stronger.
Precisely. A relentless detective is a good way to put it.
So what does that cycle actually look like? The day-to-day?
It's a really tight feedback loop. Starts with evaluation, constantly checking the AI's performance against clear goals. For customer service, maybe that's the percentage of tickets solved completely.
Okay, makes sense.
Then edge case identification. They're actively hunting for those weird, tricky situations where the prompt fails or doesn't do so well. That's critical. Then you have real-world testing, seeing how it actually performs live.
Right, in the wild.
Exactly. And finally, iterative learning. Taking everything you learn from evaluation and testing and feeding it back in, refining, improving. It's built for nonstop enhancement.
That feels really robust for building AI you can actually rely on. Now, the sources mention two main prompt types, planning and manager prompts.
That's right.
Let's start with the planning prompt. What's the core problem it's trying to solve?
Okay, the planning prompt. It's specifically designed to let AI models handle complex tasks with multiple steps. And this is really vital when the AI is dealing with dynamic information that might be incomplete, which, let's face it, is most real-world situations.
So it's really about giving the AI a solid roadmap for navigating uncertainty and making decisions even if it doesn't have all the pieces yet. How does it technically do that?
Exactly. It uses a few key techniques. First, dynamic information handling. The prompt can pull in a lot of live context. We're talking maybe hundreds of words of message history, stuff learned from a memory system, company policies, all that. It gives the model a really rich picture to work with.
Even if parts are missing initially.
Right. And what's really fascinating is how they let the model map out a sequence of actions and predict outcomes, even when it doesn't know the exact results yet. This is done through tool call chaining. Imagine the AI needs to, say, check a database, then call an external API, doesn't know what those will return immediately. ParaHelp uses these clever placeholders like markers in a blueprint for where future results or policy details will go, so the model can outline the whole plan first.
Okay, so it sketches out the steps, leaving blanks to fill in later. What about complex decisions, like those refund policies you mentioned? Different rules for different situations.
Yeah, for those tricky scenarios with multiple paths, refunds based on date, country, plan, type, whatever they use conditional logic, specifically XML if blocks. This makes the model's decision path really explicit, very clear, and crucially parsable, so you can check its work. It's like giving it that detailed roadmap and demanding absolute precision on which path to take.
I saw this term model RAM in the report. It caught my eye. What exactly do they mean by that?
Right, model RAM. It's ParaHelp's term for basically how many different logical paths a model can reliably keep track of in one go. Their whole architecture, their prompting strategies, they're designed to maximize this RAM. They even have, tricks to use if the model's natural capacity isn't quite enough for really complex stuff. Essentially, giving the AI more mental workspace to handle lots of what-ifs.
That's a really neat way to think about it. And this specific choice, only allowing if blocks, no else blocks, that seems, counterintuitive maybe. Why is getting rid of else so important?
It sounds odd, but it's fundamental to their strict conditional execution. By forcing only if blocks, They make the model define the exact condition for every single possible path. Think about giving directions. If you say, turn left, otherwise go right, what if left isn't clear? But if you say, if condition A, turn left, if condition B, go straight, if condition C, turn right, every outcome is explicitly tied to a condition. ParaHelp found this dramatically boosts performance. It cuts down ambiguity, forces precise reasoning, no room for assumptions.
Wow, okay. It forces total clarity. So that's the planning prompt, handling the complex, dynamic, uncertain stuff. What about the manager prompt? What's its job?
The manager prompt, yeah. It's more general purpose, but it's where they pack in all the best practices for guiding the AI's general behavior. Think of it as instilling discipline and consistency.
Discipline. How do you give an AI discipline?
Well, through a few key features. First, explicit thinking order. It literally tells the model the sequence to process things or generate its answer. Then, structured formatting, using things like Markdown and XML so the output is always clear, consistent, easy for humans and machines to read.
Okay.
There's also role assignment. You tell a model, okay, you're a helpful manager or you're a technical support specialist. Guides its tone, its style. And finally, emphasis on critical instructions, using words like important or always to make sure the really essential rules stick. It's like the AI's internal code of conduct. Behave reliably, communicate consistently.
Okay, so we've sort of peeled back the layers on the tech side here. The iterative process, the precision of the planning prompt, the guiding hand of the manager prompt. Now, this is where I think it gets really exciting. How can product marketers take these specific kind of technical mechanics and actually use them? Because that focus on structure, dynamic info, conditional logic, it feels like it could let marketers move way beyond those generic prompts we all use. Get truly tailored results. Let's take an obvious one, crafting product messaging and positioning. Usually you ask an AI, write a social media post about product X, and what do you get?
Something pretty bland, usually. One-size-fits-none content that needs loads of editing.
Right. But with this framework, you could design these like messaging prompts that build in variables and conditions.
Exactly. You're not just asking for a post. You're specifying the audience, the tone, the key benefit, the campaign goal, all dynamically.
That sounds like a massive improvement for speed and relevance. You could use variables like product name, target audience, key benefit, call to action, campaign goal. Then maybe an if block that says, if the audience is small business owners, emphasize ease of use and ROI. If it's enterprise IT, focus on scalability and security.
Or shifting the focus based on the goal. Storytelling for brand awareness, strong CTAs for lead gen.
Yeah, so you're literally telling the AI, this specific message is for this audience with this goal. That lets you generate super targeted content way faster.
Definitely. Now think about automating competitive analysis. The hours product marketers spend digging through competitor sites, reports, reviews. Using that planning prompt idea, an AI could process huge amounts of that messy, unstructured data, pulling out key features, pricing, USPs, even customer complaints.
And the conditional logic works here too, I assume. It's not just summarizing, it's smart summarizing.
Absolutely. The if block logic is perfect for flagging important patterns. Like if competitor pricing is lower than our pricing in this region, highlight it immediately.
Or maybe prioritize negative feedback about a feature you just launched.
Exactly. Then the manager prompt structures all that analyzed data into concise summaries, competitive charts, SWOT analyses, whatever different stakeholders need. Imagine an AI assistant just delivering you a weekly competitor update.
Yeah.
Fully analyzed, key insights flagged, automatically.
That would free up an incredible amount of time. Okay, what about making things more personal for the customer?
Yeah, personalizing customer onboarding and support. AI agents could tap into dynamic user data segment, subscription level, features they use, past support tickets, and generate content experiences that feel truly individual. Using if block logic, the AI figures out the best thing to show. A simple guide for a newbie, or advanced tips for a power user who hasn't tried, say, feature X yet.
And the manager prompt could make the AI proactive here, not just reactive.
Yes, exactly. It could guide the AI to send out proactive messages, maybe tips for features someone isn't using, or troubleshooting steps based on behavior patterns it sees. So picture an AI noticing a user isn't engaging with a core feature. It then generates a personalized nudge, an email, an in-app pop-up with quick tips, or a link to a tutorial, perfectly tailored to that user. That's huge for engagement and retention.
Huge. Okay, another constant challenge. Adapting content. Blog posts, tweets, emails, they all need different formats, tones. Can this framework help streamline content creation across channels?
For sure. You could build a master prompt using if-block logic. It would adjust the length, tone, format automatically for different channels. Need a detailed blog post? Got it. Need concise tweets with hashtags? Got it. Compelling email announcement? Done. All from the same core message, but adapted. It can even generate multiple variations for A/B testing different headlines. CTA is controlled right from the prompt.
And the manager prompt keeps the brand voice consistent through all of that, right?
Exactly.
So it's not just faster, it's reliably on brand. Whether it's a tweet or an email, it sounds like you, that consistency builds trust.
It absolutely does. It operationalizes those guidelines.
Okay, one more application area. Sales enablement. Giving the sales team the tools they need.
Big potential here. Think dynamic battle cards. They update automatically with the latest competitor info, product features, relevant success stories tailored for the specific sales situation. Or personalizing pitch decks. The AI dynamically inserts the right case studies, feature highlights, pricing based on the prospect's industry or pain points. You could even develop AI-generated scripts for handling objections, using conditional responses that adapt to what the prospect actually says.
Wow. So a salesperson could input, say, prospect, healthcare industry, concern.data security, and the AI pulls relevant info, maybe generates a slide highlighting IPO compliance plus talking points.
Precisely that. It equips sales with super relevant, personalized materials on the fly. Big impact on effectiveness.
Okay, so we've seen the tech, we've seen the product marketing applications. Let's zoom out to the big picture. Why is adopting this kind of structured prompting not just like an efficiency hack, but a strategic must-do for marketers?
Because it's fundamental to growth and staying competitive. It touches everything: market perception, customer loyalty, revenue. It's not just tweaking things, it's changing the game. And it raises that critical question. In a world moving this fast, how do you keep up? One huge benefit is accelerated time to market and campaign velocity. This structured approach lets you generate all the tailored marketing materials for a new product or feature almost instantly. Think about launching faster.
Days instead of weeks, maybe.
Potentially, yes.
Yes.
Which means you can run more campaigns, test ideas faster, react to market shifts quicker. That first mover advantage is huge.
And it feeds right into the second point, enhanced personalization and customer engagement. We know generic just doesn't cut it anymore.
Right. By building user data and behavior right into the prompts, you create messages that actually resonate. It makes the whole customer journey better: onboarding, support, everything. And you can scale this personalization in a way that's just impossible manually. Remember that stat: a 5% boost in retention can mean a 25% jump in profit. That's the kind of growth personalized engagement drives.
Then there's unwavering brand consistency. As you scale content, especially with AI, keeping that single brand voice, that's tough.
It is tough. But here, you embed your brand guidelines, your voice, directly into the manager prompt. It's like built-in quality control. It reduces errors, stops confusing off-brand messages. It even helps other teams like sales create content that sounds right. That consistency builds trust, recognition, brand value.
So not only faster and more personal, but always sounding like your brand. That's powerful.
Extremely. And don't forget, data-driven optimization. The whole iterative nature of ParaHelp feeds perfectly into this. It makes A/B testing easy, even at scale. You get really granular insights into what works, what doesn't. You waste less marketing spend, you solve problems faster, because the data tells you where to look. It leads to much higher ROI. You can genuinely outsmart competitors.
And the final piece, which feels really important, empowering strategic focus. Taking marketers out of the content production weeds.
Exactly. By automating those complex but repetitive tasks, marketers get their time back. Precious time.
Time for what?
For strategy, deeper market analysis, understanding customers better, long-term planning, real creative thinking, better collaboration across teams too. What's fascinating, I think, is that automating the repeatable stuff doesn't replace the human. It elevates them. Product marketers become strategic orchestrators, not just content creators. They focus on the things that create real competitive advantage.
So let's try and bring it all back home. This ParaHelp framework, born from building AI agents, it's actually this incredibly robust, adaptable system for product marketing. More than just efficiency, it's a real engine for growth. We've seen how it speeds up time to market, enables hyper-personalization, locks in brand consistency, drives data-led improvements, and frees up marketers to be more strategic. So here's a thought to leave you with. As you think about your own work marketing content, whatever field you're in that deals with information, what kinds of planning prompts and manager prompts are you already using, even implicitly? And how much more could you unlock by making them explicit, structured, iterative? How could embracing this kind of structured thinking unlock your own personal model realm? What breakthroughs might be waiting? It really shows the profound power of thinking systematically.